Welcome back to GS Coins, your trusted YouTube channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of numismatics. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or just someone who's curious about the hidden value of coins you may have lying around at home, then you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about the Canada 1-cent coin from the year 1979, a small copper coin that holds more value and history than most people realize. We'll uncover the coin's background, design, metal composition, minting details, collectible status, and most importantly, its market value in today's world in dollars. So sit back and get ready to learn something new and exciting, only here on GS Coins. Let's begin with the historical background. The Canadian 1-cent coin has been a part of the country's currency system for over a century, first introduced in 1858. By the year 1979, the 1-cent coin had already become a familiar piece in every Canadian's pocket. However, while many people used it in everyday transactions, few paid attention to its design or numismatic importance. That's what makes collecting older pennies like the 1979 edition so fascinating. This coin was struck during a time of economic change, with inflation on the rise and the costs of coin production increasing. Canada was preparing for future changes in its coinage, including altering the metal composition and eventually phasing out the penny altogether by 2013. So, the 1979 cent is not just currency, it's a small, preserved snapshot of Canada's economic and cultural history. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, you'll find the beautiful and regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This specific effigy was designed by Arnold Machin, a well-known British sculptor. It shows the Queen wearing a tiara, facing to the right, and surrounded by the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II d.G. Regina, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This image is more than just a portrait, it's a symbol of Canada's ties to the British monarchy and the Commonwealth. The obverse remained unchanged for several decades, creating a sense of consistency and tradition across Canadian coinage. Now flipping the coin over to the reverse side, we see one of the most iconic and celebrated designs in Canadian coin history, the maple leaf twig. Created by designer George Kruger Gray, this design shows two maple leaves attached to the same stem. It's a timeless image representing Canadian pride, resilience, and natural beauty. Below the maple leaves, the word Canada is engraved, along with the face value, 1 cent, and the year, 1979. This reverse design was first introduced in 1937 and was used until 2012, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in Canada. When it comes to technical specifications, the 1979 Canadian penny was made of 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc. This composition gives the coin its classic reddish-brown appearance and adds a level of durability. The coin weighs approximately 3.24 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, with a smooth plain edge. Because of the high copper content, many collectors value these older pennies not only for their collectible status but also for their intrinsic metal value. In fact, the value of copper has been steadily rising over the years, and this has increased the interest in copper-based coins from earlier decades. As for mintage, the Royal Canadian Mint produced over 866 million of these coins in 1979, making it one of the more common years in terms of circulation. However, this doesn't mean the coin is worthless. Even coins with high mintage can become valuable if they are in exceptional condition or exhibit rare characteristics such as minting errors or unique toning. Additionally, the passage of time means that many coins from 1979 have been lost, damaged, or worn out through decades of use, making high-grade examples harder to find and more desirable to collectors. Let's now turn to what many of you are waiting for, the market value of the 1979 Canada 1-cent coin in today's world, especially in US dollars. If you have a coin in average circulated condition, that means it's been used but is still clearly readable, the coin's value might range from 5 to 20 cents, depending on overall wear and appearance. While this might not sound like a fortune, it is still many times more than its original face value. For coins in very fine to extremely fine condition, where the design is still sharp and there's only light wear, the value can go up to 30 to 75 cents. Where the real value lies is in uncirculated or mint state coins. These are coins that were never used in everyday transactions and have been preserved in near-perfect condition. A 1979 Canadian penny graded MS-63 can fetch anywhere from $2 to $5, while higher-grade examples such as MS-65 or better can sell for $10 to $20 or more. especially if the coin has a bright red luster and no visible contact marks. Coins that were part of mint sets or proof-like sets may also command higher prices due to their exceptional quality. Some unique pieces with die errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can be extremely valuable, with collectors paying anywhere from $50 to several $100 depending on the rarity and condition of the error. It's also worth mentioning that many collectors today are building full-year sets of Canadian cents, and they often seek out the best possible example from each year, including 1979. This increases the demand for high-quality coins from this year. Moreover, since the Canadian penny was officially discontinued in 2013, older pennies have become even more collectible as they are no longer being produced or circulated. This adds historical significance to each coin, including the 1979 edition, and could lead to higher values in the future as supply continues to dwindle. To summarize, the 1979 Canada 1-cent coin might seem like just a small piece of copper, but it actually holds great historical, aesthetic, and potential monetary value. From its beautiful maple leaf design and royal portrait to its copper composition and collectible status, this coin is a treasure worth holding onto, especially if it's in excellent condition. Whether you have one or a handful of these coins, it's definitely worth examining them carefully. You might just be holding onto a piece of history that has value beyond its original worth. Next up, the Canada 1-cent coin from the year 1981, a small but significant coin that many people overlook, yet collectors continue to seek out. Whether you found this coin in an old jar, inherited it from a relative, or stumbled upon it while going through your change, you may be surprised to learn that this tiny copper coin could be worth more than just 1 cent. So stay with us as we explore every important detail about the 1981 Canadian penny, its design, composition, historical significance, and its current market value in US dollars, all explained clearly and in full detail, right here on GS Coins. Let's start with the design of the 1981 Canada 1-cent coin. On the obverse, or front side, you'll find a regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the famous sculptor Arnold Machin. This particular portrait shows the Queen facing right, wearing a royal tiara. Surrounding her image is the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D.G. Regina, which means, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This design was used on Canadian coins from 1965 to 1989, and it's one of the most widely recognized portraits of the Queen in the numismatic world. It reflects a time of political stability and strong Commonwealth ties, making it more than just a coin, it's a small piece of Canadian history. Turning to the reverse side of the coin, we see the beloved maple leaf twig design. This is a classic symbol of Canadian identity, featuring 2 detailed maple leaves attached to a single stem. It was created by George Kruger Gray, a British artist known for his work on many Commonwealth coin designs. Below the maple leaf design, you'll find the word Canada, the face value 1 cent, and the minting year, 1981, clearly inscribed. This design had been used consistently on Canadian pennies since 1937 and remained in use until the penny was discontinued in 2012. For many Canadians, this design is deeply nostalgic and represents a connection to their childhood and national heritage. Now let's discuss the technical details of the coin. The 1981 Canadian 1-cent coin was made primarily from 98% copper, along with 0.5% tin and 1.5% zinc. This gives it a rich, reddish tone that's easily distinguishable from more modern coins that are mostly made from steel or plated materials. The coin weighs approximately 2.8 grams, slightly lighter than earlier versions of the penny, due to changes in minting standards that were introduced to reduce costs. It has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a plain edge. Thanks to its copper content, even the metal value of this coin has become interesting to collectors, especially as copper prices have steadily risen in recent years. The Royal Canadian Mint produced an astonishing 1.2 billion Canada 1-cent coins in 1981. This makes it a high mintage year, and because of that, many people assume that these coins are not worth much. However, condition matters more than quantity in the world of coin collecting. While common in circulated condition, coins that remain in uncirculated or near mint condition, those that show no signs of wear, scratches, or handling, can be significantly more valuable. Also, coins with rare mint errors or unusual features, such as off-center strikes or double dies, can be worth much more than standard issues. So now, let's get to the most important part, the market value of the 1981 Canada 1-cent coin in good condition in today's market, measured in US dollars. If your coin has been circulated but is still in decent shape, we're talking about fine to very fine condition. It might be worth around 5 to 20 cents depending on how sharp the details are and how much luster remains. Coins in extremely fine condition, where the queen's hair and the maple leaf details are still crisp, can command prices between 25 cents and 50 cents on collector platforms. When we move into higher grades, especially mint state, MS, coins, such as MS 63 or higher, the value increases considerably. A 1981 Canada 1-cent coin in MS 63 grade can be worth $1 to $3, while coins in MS 65 condition, which are nearly flawless and have full original luster, can sell for anywhere between $5 and $10. Some examples have been known to reach even higher prices at auctions if they come with original mint packaging or are part of a complete uncirculated coin set. Coins from special mint sets or proof-like sets produced in limited quantities are even more valuable, especially if they have mirror-like finishes and no blemishes. It's also worth keeping an eye out for error coins. Occasionally, coins from any year can have minting mistakes, like being struck off-center, having doubling on the letters or numbers, or being clipped. These kinds of coins are rare and can sell for $20 to even several $100s, depending on how dramatic and unique the error is. Always examine your coin closely under a magnifying glass and compare it with normal versions to check for anything unusual. In recent years, there's been a growing interest in Canadian pennies, especially since they were officially retired from circulation in 2013. As more people realize these coins will never be produced again, the value of earlier issues like the 1981 penny has gradually increased. Collectors who are building full-year sets of Canadian cents from 1920 through 2012 often seek coins in the best possible condition for every year, and 1981 is no exception. This continued demand is helping to keep the value of well-preserved coins stable and, in many cases, rising. So in summary, the 1981 Canada 1-cent coin may be small in size and often overlooked, but it holds significant historical, collectible, and even metallic value. Whether you have one in circulated condition or manage to find an uncirculated or error version, this coin deserves a place in your collection. It tells the story of a nation, reflects the artistry of its designers, and connects us to a time when even a single cent could still buy something. Don't underestimate its potential, and don't be too quick to toss it aside as just pocket change. Next up, the 1985 Canada 1-cent coin. This humble copper penny, once passed through countless hands in everyday transactions, now holds a special place in the hearts of collectors around the globe. Whether you've just discovered one in your change jar, inherited it from a family member, or picked it up at a flea market, this coin is more than just 1 cent. It's a piece of Canada's heritage, and today, we'll explore its design, composition, mintage, historical context, and most importantly, its current market value in good condition in US dollars. So stay with us until the end for a complete and detailed analysis, only here on GS Coins. Let's begin by exploring the design elements of the 1985 Canadian 1-cent coin. On the obverse side, or front of the coin, we find a beautifully engraved portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a familiar image for those who handle Canadian coins. This portrait was created by Arnold Machin, a British sculptor whose depiction of the Queen was widely used not only in Canada but also in other Commonwealth countries. This version of the Queen's image, where she is seen wearing a tiara and facing to the right, was featured on Canadian coinage from 1965 until 1989. Around her portrait are the Latin words, Elizabeth II d. Regina, meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This side of the coin captures the monarchy's connection to Canadian identity and offers a powerful symbol of continuity and tradition through the decades. Now let's take a look at the reverse side, where the classic maple leaf twig design takes center stage. This side of the coin features 2 detailed maple leaves on a single twig, created by George Kruger Gray, a well-known British coin designer. Below the twig, the inscription reads 1 cent, followed by Canada, and of course, the year 1985. This design is simple yet iconic, and it remained largely unchanged for decades, making it instantly recognizable. For Canadians, the maple leaf is more than just a national symbol, it's an emblem of pride, unity, and natural beauty. This particular design was used on pennies from 1937 until the penny was discontinued in 2012, making it a lasting visual legacy on Canada's smallest denomination. Moving on to the technical specifications, the 1985 Canada 1-cent coin is made of 98% copper, 1.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving it a reddish-brown color and a solid feel in the hand. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a plain, smooth edge. These physical attributes may seem basic, but they play a critical role in how coins are graded and evaluated by collectors. The high copper content, in particular, makes this coin desirable not only to numismatists but also to metal investors, as the price of copper has increased in recent years. Many collectors specifically seek out pre-1997 Canadian pennies due to their metal composition, which is more valuable than the modern steel pennies. In terms of mintage, the Royal Canadian Mint produced over 771 million 1-cent coins in 1985, which puts it in the category of high mintage years. While that might sound like a lot, and indeed, it is, don't be too quick to dismiss the coin's value. High mintage does not automatically mean low value. What matters more is the coin's condition, rarity in high grades, and the presence of any mint errors or unusual features. As with most coins, those that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition are always more sought after by collectors and therefore command higher prices in the market. Let's now talk about the current market value of the 1985 Canadian 1-cent coin in good condition, based on today's demand among collectors and sellers. If you own a 1985 penny that has been in circulation but still retains decent detail, known as fine, F, or very fine, VF, condition, its value typically ranges from 5 to 15 cents in the collector's market. These coins show some wear from use, but the major design features are still visible, and the date and inscriptions are easily readable. If your coin is in extremely fine, EF, condition, meaning the details are sharper and only minimal wear is present, then the value increases to approximately 20 to 30 cents. Coins in this condition are often kept in albums or jars and have not seen much wear and tear. However, if your coin is in mint state, MS, condition, especially in grades MS 63 to MS 65, the value can be significantly higher. A coin graded MS 63, with full original luster and minimal blemishes, may be worth $1 to $3, while coins in MS 65, nearly flawless and attractive in appearance, can command values of $5 to $10. These are the types of coins that collectors look for when completing a high-grade set of Canadian pennies. Coins that come from proof-like sets or special mint sets are also more valuable due to their mirror-like finish and superb preservation. Another important factor that can dramatically increase the coin's value is the presence of errors. Though not common, errors do exist on 1985 Canadian pennies, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, or clipped planchets. These coins are highly collectible, and their value depends on the severity and rarity of the error. Even minor errors can start at $20, and more dramatic or unique examples can be worth $100 or more, especially if certified by a reputable grading company. The historical value of the coin is also worth noting. By 1985, Canada was entering a new era economically and politically. It was a period of inflation, shifting national identity, and increased attention to cultural heritage. The penny, though seemingly insignificant, was part of daily life and carried symbolic weight as a representation of Canada's working-class values and economic growth. In today's world, where physical cash is used less and less, holding a 1985 penny feels like holding a small piece of history, a reminder of how far we've come in just a few decades. Finally, we must remember that the Canadian penny was officially discontinued in 2012, making all pre-2012 pennies more interesting and collectible over time. No new pennies are being made, and as more are melted down or lost, the remaining ones become more desirable to collectors and historians. This drives up the demand for high-quality examples, especially from earlier decades like the 1980s. In conclusion, the 1985 Canada 1-cent coin may seem small in size and face value, but it is rich in history, design, and collector interest. With its elegant maple leaf design, classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and high copper content, this coin remains a valuable piece of Canadian numismatics. Whether you have it in circulated or uncirculated condition, or maybe even as part of a special coin set, it has potential value that goes well beyond 1 cent. And if you happen to discover an error or a high-grade version, you could be holding a coin worth several dollars, or even more. Next up, the Canada 1-cent coin from the year 1994, a small copper coin that continues to hold significance for collectors, especially when preserved in good condition. Though it may have only had a face value of 1 cent when it was minted, its worth in the world of numismatics today can be surprisingly higher. We will explore the design features, metal composition, mintage details, historical background, and most importantly, its current market value in US dollars in today's collector market. So if you're curious whether your 1994 Canadian penny could be worth more than you think, then keep watching this video till the end, only on GS Coins. Let's begin with the design of the 1994 Canada 1-cent coin. On the obverse side, the coin features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a familiar and regal image that is a symbol of Canada's continued link to the British monarchy. This particular portrait was designed by Dora de Petrie-Hunt, a talented Canadian artist, and it was introduced in 1990. It replaced the earlier Arnold Machin portrait and depicts the Queen with a more mature appearance, wearing pearls and facing to the right. Around her image are the words, Elizabeth II d.G. Regina, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This design was used on Canadian coins throughout the 1990s, making the 1994 penny an example of this classic era of Canadian currency. Now turning to the reverse side, we find the iconic and timeless maple leaf twig design that has been a part of Canadian pennies since 1937. This reverse image, designed by George Kruger Gray, features two detailed maple leaves on a single stem, symbolizing Canada's natural beauty and national pride. Below the stem is the denomination 1 cent, and the word Canada is inscribed above the year 1994. This design is deeply connected to Canada's identity and makes the 1-cent coin instantly recognizable across generations, though the design remained the same for decades. Each year's minting has subtle differences and significance, and the 1994 edition holds its own place in this long-running series. In terms of composition, the 1994 Canadian 1-cent coin is made from 98% copper, 1.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and features a plain edge. These specifications make it part of the classic copper penny era, before the Royal Canadian Mint switched to plated steel pennies in later years. This copper-rich composition not only gives the coin a warm reddish appearance but also adds to its value in today's market, especially considering rising copper prices and the collectible interest in pre-1997 pennies, which still contain a significant amount of actual copper. Let's now look at the mintage and availability. In 1994, the Royal Canadian Mint produced approximately 624 million 1-cent coins. This high mintage number means the 1994 penny is not considered rare by general standards. However, coins from this year that are found in exceptionally good condition, particularly those with strong details, natural red luster, or those pulled from uncirculated rolls, can still be valuable to collectors. As the years pass, well-preserved examples become harder to find, especially as more pennies are taken out of circulation, melted for their metal, or simply discarded. So, how much is a 1994 Canadian 1-cent coin worth in today's market, especially in good condition? If your coin is in circulated condition, showing moderate signs of wear but still retaining clear detail, it may be worth around 2 to 5 cents to casual collectors. While that's only a modest gain over its face value, it reflects continued interest in older Canadian pennies and the slow disappearance of copper-based coins from the market. If your 1994 penny is in very fine, VF, to extremely fine, EF, condition, meaning it has minimal wear and sharper design features, its value can increase to 10 to 20 cents. These coins are often collected by individuals seeking to complete a full date set or those who enjoy the aesthetic of coins with stronger visual appeal. The real jump in value happens when the coin is in mint state, MS, condition, that is, it was never circulated and still has its full original luster. Coins graded MS 63 to MS 65 can sell for $1 to $3, while higher graded examples with rich red color and no visible flaws can be worth $5 to $8 or more, especially if certified by a professional grading service. Uncirculated coins that come from official Royal Canadian Mint sets may also command higher prices due to their superior preservation. Another area to watch is the presence of error coins, which are always in demand among collectors. While no major widespread errors are known for the 1994 Canadian penny, isolated examples of off-center strikes, die cracks, double die obverse, or clipped planchets can exist. These error coins are often sold at premiums and can range in value from $10 to over $100, depending on the severity and rarity of the mistake. The value of the 1994 Canadian penny is also boosted by the fact that the Canadian penny was officially discontinued in 2012. That means no more 1-cent coins are being minted or used in Canadian cash transactions. As time goes on, more of these coins disappear from circulation, making them increasingly collectible. Coins like the 1994 1-cent piece become even more desirable when preserved well, especially by collectors trying to complete full penny date sets from 1920 to 2012. In summary, while the 1994 Canada 1-cent coin may appear to be a small, everyday item, it carries historical value, collectible interest, and a bit of hidden worth. Whether you have just one or a handful, coins like these are worth holding onto, especially in good to excellent condition. From its traditional maple leaf design and mature Queen Elizabeth II portrait to its high copper content and now retired status, this coin is more than just pocket change. It's a small but enduring piece of Canadian history. Thank you for joining us here on GS Coins. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new about the 1994 Canadian penny, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let us know if you have any 1994 1-cent coins in your collection and what condition they're in. You never know, you might just have a treasure hiding in your coin jar. Stay tuned for more informative videos about old, rare, and valuable coins from Canada and around the world. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, every coin has a story.